Hey guys, this is Adam. I just want to give an update on the BMW E46 LS swap. Got everything mounted in, motor mounted, transmission mounted, drive shaft made, connected to the diff, so that's all good. Made a bracket for the original BMW power steering pump, the alternator, and modified the bracket so I can use the power steering reservoir from the BMW. That's actually the bracket from the BMW that I cut, turned 90 degrees and bolted. So that all works. That all plumbs in just fine. I have a couple things left to do. Got the O2 bungs, which I sold these from the truck manifolds from the motor that I got. These are cheap. These are $2-3 a piece, but just because I have them, and I think it's kind of cool to try to utilize as much of the stock motor and parts from the donor car as possible, and put those in. So I'm going to do it, and just so I can say that I did. Just got the starter all figured out yesterday. So when I turned the key on this thing, I wasn't getting a signal to the hot wire, which I have looped over on the side there. But so it turns out the ignition passes through this little security module before it comes out of the wiring harness and to the starter. And that security module, it's like an EWC or I forget what it's called, but anyways, I guess it goes through a couple different checks to make sure that everything's legit before it sends signal to the starter. And ultimately, it turns out that I had to reconnect the BMW ECU. I don't know the specifics of it, but I guess this thing has to match the key that you're using and blah blah blah. And ultimately, that's what got it to work. There's a couple other things that it said it had to that there had to be in place too, like the transmission. I think it's like a neutral safety switch, something like that. So that was plugged in and the starter worked, but then I plugged it and it still worked. Same thing with, I think, the BMW shifter, which is sitting right here. With that connected, same thing. Like, I don't know if you put it in park before you can start a car, whether it be this switch or something else, but same thing. I unplugged it and it still works. So that's good. I'm gonna go through and see what else is not needed. But anyway, so while we're in here, that's the shifter from either a Firebird or Camaro. Got to kind of trim that back because the bracket's pretty large, and I think I can get it almost in the stock place there. I have that's a BMW gas pedal, and this is a Chevy one. So this is drive-by-wire, so it's electronically controlled. Some guy, I saw online that some people were using, or at least one guy was able to use the BMW pedal in place of the Chevy one, and it still worked. I'm guessing there's some kind of resistor, variable resistor in there, and this has different values than the BMW one. But from what one guy was saying is that the Chevy computer compensated for it, and it still worked. So I'm going to try it because that'd be a lot cleaner, and I like the idea of doing that. What I have left to do is get those O2 sensors in, get a one constant, one switched power that's going to this ECU, and I'll just tap into it, and so I can power up this one. Need to get into the fuel relay, which I know that works because when I was playing with the starter, I got fuel everywhere. So I'll just take that off the BMW one and tie it into this guy. Put fluids in there and see what happens. So we're getting there, and hopefully in a couple days or a week or so, I'm going to try to do a first start and see what happens.